been so big in the clutch this year, and he's on the floor in the last couple of minutes of the game again, makes a big three. It just seems like he's done that a ton this year.
Yeah, but he's earned that, you know. I mean, it's great for us because I'm very comfortable with, you know, each one, any of those guys on the floor at the end of the game. We just felt like that, you know, the movement that he had and the cutting that he had might open up other avenues, so that's why we played him down the stretch.
I know that last night Drew, after the game, referred to Darren Erman as a defensive genius. He got a lot of the credit for how he played. That was one of your first hires when you got here. Just can you talk about the job that Erm does with the defense?
Well, I mean, I think he's totally committed to it. I mean, he's totally committed. I mean, we were 26 in the league the year before we got here, and you know, finished 9th last year, you know, all the way up. So, you know, I mean, I think it's been a gradual thing, but he put us in a position where, you know, he works so hard at it. I mean, you know, he analyzes every situation, and he takes into account our personnel and how we can apply that to the game plan. And he does a great job. He does an excellent job. Sometimes that get lost in translation because we play so fast from a pace standpoint that, you know, if you're giving up, you know, 8, 10 more possessions a game, then obviously, you know, even if you hold a team to 40%, that's still 8 more points a game. So I don't really read a whole lot into the, you know, the points per game thing, you know, more so than you know, the field goal percentage and things like that. I think that becomes more important. And, you know, our guys really buy into him. They believe in, you know, his game plan and what he does. And, you know, last night we took to me, arguably, as good a backcourt as there is in the NBA. I think you could argue that. And we did a great job of kind of taking them out of the game. Now you have to do that every night. And knowing, especially knowing Dame, he's as competitive as anybody in the league, so he'll come back, you know, even more forceful on Tuesday. I can tell you that.
Rondo said last night part of his success was the fact that you just kind of gave him the keys and let him go. Is that part of your philosophy as a coach, or is that something that's special to him? Or
well, I've been lucky enough to have the type of guys that you can do that with. You know, going back to Steve Nash. I mean, you know, Steve Nash, and you know, obviously being on Doc's staff as an associate head coach, and then the same thing in Golden State. You know, you have guys that are very capable of that. But I think with Rondo, he's even more special than those guys because, you know, he works at it so hard. Like I said to you guys, he takes every practice we have and he puts it on his computer and he watches it. Takes every game that we have, he puts it on his computer. He want to know the first play we're running. You know, that's just the kind of guy that he is. So I think if you're going to have him on your team, you got to understand and believe in him enough to understand that, you know, he's going to put guys in the right situation. And sometimes when you're out on the floor, you even have a better feel than the coach. And my philosophy has always been, and I said this to him, that, you know, if I call a play and he's already got one called, then his play will always supersede me.
And how difficult is it to keep that philosophy? Like last night when things are slipping away, you feel like you got to get it.
I think that's when you have to, you know, believe in what he's doing and what's going on. He knows, you know, sometimes he'll say, you know, hey, what do you think? I mean, give me something that we can run, you know, and that's fine. But, you know, for the most part, he's gonna make great decisions and he's gonna put guys in the right spot where we can be successful.
I know that much was made of Anthony's first playoff win. They say, you know, players get credit, coaches get blamed. That was your first playoff victory as a head coach, I believe, since 2010. How rewarding is it for you personally? These chances don't come along very often to be a head coach in the NBA.
Oh, it's good. I think it's good for our franchise. You know, it's great, you know, having Mrs. Benson here. I mean, I think she's happy with, you know, what's going on with the team and everything. And we love having her a part of the whole thing. And, you know, I think she's very enthusiastic. She talked to the guys, every one of them in the locker room after the game. So, you know, as far as the franchise and as far as individual stuff, I mean, it's great because I love this group of guys. I love coaching them. You know, I think they love each other. There's a chemistry that they have, you know, that's really, really strong. And I think that's what you have to do to be successful in the playoffs. I mean, it's one game, you know. I mean, obviously, there's a heck of a lot more basketball left in this series or any series. But, you know, it's a great tribute to those guys and the confidence that they have in themselves that we can come up and win a game.
Oh, is this the most unified you've seen this?
entire organization, you know, going from the front office to the camaraderie on the team? Has it ever been like this much unity?
Oh, it's been. I think it's been real great. I mean, I think it has been, and you know, losing Mr. Benson was tough. I mean, you know, he's done so much for the city and so much for the state and so much for the NFL and the NBA and, you know, all over the place that, you know, it's tough when you lose a guy that's such a leader like that. But the way Mrs. Benson has stepped in, I think it's just been great. You know, it's not easy to do. You know, he's been such an icon forever, you know, in the NFL and now, you know, with the team that he bought. But I think the way she's approached it and what she's done, you know, and still in the, you know, still during a grieving period, you know, she's just stepped up because I think she understands that that's what he would have expected of her, you know, and she's been great at it, really.
And Drew said last night that when things really got tight, the two guys that spoke up most were Rondo and AD. How much do you think AD has kind of developed in that aspect, kind of being more of a vocal leader?
I think he's been fine at that. You know, the thing I keep telling everyone, let's not forget he's 25. He just turned 25. And so, you know, yeah, he's becoming more outspoken. He's been becoming more of a vocal leader. Rondo's going to always be a vocal leader because he's going to speak his mind and give opinions that's usually really good opinions, you know, about, you know, situations and how they should be handled. So as a coach, you got to be confident enough in your players to allow them to be who they are. I think that becomes really important. You know, you got to allow them to be who they are and understand, you know, when you can let them go and when you have to tighten the reins a little bit. I mean, that's the way. That's all what coaching is, really.
And we were joking last night. We're so used to seeing AD show up to games in the sweatshirt and the sweatpants. What was it like to see him pull up in the suit last night?
I was just asking, you know, was that a China special or not, you know? But I got to think that one was a little different than the China special. No, he looks great. I think. I mean, obviously he looks great, and you know, I think it's great that he, you know, he dressed up that way.